Good morning students. My name is Shweta from Vidya Bal Bhawan Senior Secondary School and I am going to teach you an important topic of science, that is how do we separate substances from their mixtures. Yes beta, how do we separate the substances which is present in the mixtures? There are several methods and we will discuss them one by one. Let us start our methods. So, our first method is hand picking. Yes, as the name suggests, hand picking is something you are picking by your hands. Yes. So, when you are picking the impurities from any desired things like rice, dal, which is your mother is using in their homes. So, they are basically picking the impurities by their hands. So, this is basically you are selecting or you are choosing the impurities and put it in separating from their mixtures. So hand picking, there is in scientific term there are some certain criteria for this hand picking. The objects or the substance or the mixtures should be of identified size, that is of a moderate size. It should not be very small, like salt particles, they are very small, but the dal which is used in your home, it is of moderate size. So you can easily pick the impurities from that, but it is difficult to pick the impurities from the salt or from sugar substances. So in that case, hand picking is something, it should be of as well as sizes, but it should be of irregular colors also, irregular sizes also. So this is all about hand picking. Then we will move to a second method, that is sieving. Yes, again the name is telling something, that sieving is the method of separation of impurities or the substance by using the sieve. Yes, sieve which is used in your homes also, that is spelled as, or you can say that it is being pronounced as छलनी, जो हम अपने घरों में यूज करते हैं. So that is the sieve exactly. And you are separating. The best example is in the morning when the tea is when there is a preparation of tea in your home. So the tea leaves are being separated from the liquid or from the tea using the sieve. So we are basically separated both the things, the liquid and the impurities or the tea leaves, undesired things, from each other using a sieve. Also the wheat flour is being used and separated from the husk by using the sieve. So there are different sizes of sieve, but basically we have separated the impurities as well as the undesired things from the desired one. Okay beta. Now next one is the threshing. That as the name suggests, again the threshing means beating something. So it is the process of separation of grains from their stalks. Yes, when the farmers are separating the grains by beating it on a hard substance in the farmland, so they are separated the grains from their husk or from their stalk. So that separation process, that beating process is known as thrashing. Okay. Now it is being followed by another method, that is winnowing. Yes beta. Winnowing basically when you are using an object that is being used in our homes also sometimes, and it's spelled in different languages, but one language which I know, that is being soup, जिसे हम बोलते हैं soup, that is the object used for winnowing process. And basically what happens in winnowing the grains which is being left out in the threshing process, that is being used, put up at a certain height, and then we will do we have to shake that, so that the grains, the lighter grains, the lighter husk has been come down in the land area while the grains is being left there itself. How does it happen? When we are just shaking it, the lighter husk particle that blow up with the wind while the heavier grains are there itself. So we have separated the grains from the husk through that winnowing processes. Okay, so now we will see the another method, that one is sublimation. I hope you know that sublimation is the conversion of solid to directly to gas form. Solid directly to gas form. It is again a same example which I can give you. It is being used in your homes also. That is द बर्निंग ऑफ कैम्फर, यस कैम्फर इज कपूर जो हम अपनी पूजा में यूज करते हैं. सो दैट बर्निंग, व्हेन यू आर बर्निंग द कैम्फर, इट इज डायरेक्टली चेंजेस फ्रॉम सॉलिड टू gaseous. So sublimation is the process of separating, or sorry, from converting the solid to gaseous form. Okay, so how does it happen? How can we separate? When we put the mixture of salt with camphor and heat it, the camphor will blow up and the salt will remain there. It will be evaporated, but the salt will remain there itself, and it both will be separated from each other. So that's how we can separate through the sublimation process. Okay. So the next one is our sedimentation and decantation. I hope you must have read this about before also, but I'll explain you here that sedimentation and decantation, I'll give you an example. When you will put the mud in water, after some time when you will left it undisturbed, the mud will settle down, but the water will be at the upper side. So that is the settling of mud at the bottom of the beaker or the flask, that is known as sedimentation. Okay, and the impurity which is settled down, that is known as sediment. Okay. After the sedimentation, decantation is being followed. So what is decantation? When you will pour the same liquid with the sediments, slightly you will tilt it and pour that particular, for example, this is the beaker and this is the sediment that is being settled down, and this is the liquid that is being here. So what will happen when you will tilt it down? The liquid will be poured in another flask and the liquid will be separated from the sediment which is being put in here. This is the sediment, and in the beaker there will be the liquid will be poured down. So that pouring of liquid slightly tilting the flask, that is known as decantation. Although it is unfit, it is still unfit for drinking purposes because some impurities of sediments are still left there, but you have separated the liquid from the sediment by using this method. Okay. Next one is our filtration process. The name is saying here again that filtration is the process of separating the mixtures using the filter paper. Yes, if you have seen the filter paper, you can see they are the white papers having the small microns, and those are filtering the impurities. For example, if you want to pour this particular liquid in that filtration process or in a beaker, what you will observe that by using the filter paper in the flask, this again I will use this using a funnel, and I will put the filter paper here and I will pour down this liquid. So those small impurities will be sticking to this particular filter paper and the liquid will be poured down through this funnel. So you have separated somewhat more impurities from those liquid using the filter paper here, and the filtrate, that is filtrate means the clear liquid that is being poured out here, and the residue is what, which is being left here. So residue is being left here in the filter paper while the filtrate is being filtered out. Okay students, so I hope you are clear with the filtration process. The filtration process is actually the process of separating the impurities using the filter paper. Okay. The next one is our evaporation, condensation and distillation. These are all connected with each other. That's why I have told you the best example for this is our salt water. Yes, we have everyone have the salt in their home. So those salt is being processed using this method. First of all, the salt water is being evaporated. Yes, the heat is being provided to the salt water, due to which the water is being evaporated and the salt is being left out. Okay, sometimes we do not want to let the water go in the environment. We have to collect that. So what we will do there, by the evaporation process, when the water is evaporated, it is being collected in another beaker by condensation process. What is condensation process? The process of cooling down the liquid, that is evaporated one, cooling down and converting it again, the gas into liquid. That is the condensation process. So in salt water, the water that was evaporated, it is being collected in another flask or beaker or other container by using the condensation process by cooling it down so that it will be collected in the another flask. Okay, after the condensation we are using the distillation. After the condensation, that is evaporation and condensation you can do simultaneously. But distillation is something you can again use it in different manner. The evaporation and condensation process is combined in this distillation process. Yes, there is a proper setup for distillation. In one side flask, the water, the salt water is being evaporated. It will go. The salt will remain in the beaker, but the water will go to the another one, and in between. For example, I just give you a short through this. This is the flask in which salt water is kept, and it is the condenser through which we are pouring down the cooling effect in this, and afterwards it is being collected in another beaker where the liquid is put. So here it is, the salt remains here, the water will go here after the evaporation process, and the condenser, this is the condenser way in which the condenser will condense or cool down this evaporated water, and due to which it will be collected here and the liquid will be collected here. So in this whole process, this is the process of distillation in which the water and the salt both are being used and both are being collected. Nothing is being lost here, and there is minimum wastage for both the things. So this is the whole process of evaporation, condensing and distillation. So I hope you have revised or you have known this all topics very well, from hand picking to sieving, threshing, winnowing, sublimation, sedimentation, filtration, evaporation, condensation and distillation. I hope these all topics are clear with you and you have understood everything. Thanks for watching the video. Thank you, students.